need a cup of coffee after this one. Can I get a cup of coffee? So yeah, get up on my face. Nuisance. Nuisance. I got to get up in here, girl. Got to get eggs yesterday. I know. You get busy. I know you're mad at me. I get you. Tell you what, we're going to leave one up under you. Ouch, you bit me. Okay, we're not leaving one. Well, you can't be cranky this morning. You're not gonna be sitting. Oh no. Oh, you must be trying to sit. That ain't gonna be happening. It's too late. Too late in the season, girl. For me. So here to the raised beds, they're empty. And except this bed right here, it's empty, but it's got a lot of debris, cardboard boxes, just leaves and different things that we are building this up, and then we're going to be putting some soil on top of it and prepare it for next year. But here into this bed right here, these are zinnias that's been coming up by themselves, voluntarily coming up by themselves. And then there's some potatoes, little potatoes that started springing up, but the army worms, I believe they're army worms. I haven't researched it to a degree, but to make sure 100% that they are army worms. They showed up last year. They're aggravating worms. And since I'm not even worried about this bed, I said, you know, I'll just leave it be, right? Well, these things are multiplying. The zinnias are growing, about ate the potatoes leaves off, and then they're munching onto the zinnias, and then I said, you know what? I got to do something about this. So here is some chicken wire I put in here to help with the cat that keeps kind of coming in here. He knows not to come in here, but he's a little hard-headed. Every animal's personalities is different. He's sweet as can be, but he kind of, when he wants his way, he wants his way. So I put this chicken wire, just laid in here, just extra wire, really probably gonna not be used for anything. And then that really did work. But then the zinnias coming up, the potatoes are coming up. And I looked at these things a while ago and I said, you know, maybe I need to do something about this. I don't want to get it to a place since I don't know much about this insect. And because some insects, like where I found out Japanese beetles, well, they mate and they eat, that's it, pretty much like all insects. But then I found out they drop to the ground, they get their eggs into the ground, and then that's next season's insect that's going to be coming up taking over plants. So last year I let the chickens, which usually each year I will let the chickens into the garden scratch around, but I did notice last year that I had less Japanese beetles. And that's when I started to research it. And I took the chickens out of this garden area when I noticed they started digging holes. And that was letting me know they got pretty much all the insects and worms, the good insects, the bad insects, you know, but they did a lot of pooping, so that's a twofold for me. So what I'm gonna be doing is, since I'm done with this, you know, I don't want to create a problem in the future. I need to do something other. So we're gonna go ahead and spray some neem oil on here. Go ahead and see if we can go ahead and start dealing with these. Sometimes avoiding the insect, you know, and thinking, well, it's just going to go away, or it'll turn into a butterfly, or, you know, sometimes that's not the right thing to do. It's not a good thing to do. So there was some potatoes up here. I cropped it off and took those worms into the chicken area to see if they will eat them. Now the thing about this army worms that I have noticed, that I'll start noticing eating onto my plants, and then it's just little holes. But of course, caterpillars grow, and then you can see them. Most of the time when they start out, you can't even hardly see these things. Just about need a magnifying glass. So we got them going on over here. Let's take a walk over here. Amazingly, I do not see any. And I did take the potato and take it, you know, crop it off and get it out of there. But I do see some aphids. So we're going to go ahead and deal with those because this is real close to the greenhouse. There's not many plants in there, but nevertheless, we don't want to get this started this close to the greenhouse. And see, I didn't even know this was going on. I just seen the other army worms and said, you know, I just need to go ahead and do something with this. This is not good for me to avoid this. And it's a good thing because these are just potatoes I'm going to be trying to grow. These are little potatoes that came from harvesting potatoes this season. And usually you'll have little potatoes that are lost into the ground and will come up and make potatoes. But they won't make big potatoes. They'll still make some potatoes. So this thing is covered with aphids. It wasn't like that. It wasn't like that a couple days ago. So now it's a good thing that I did this, because seeing that right there, that is something you don't want into your greenhouse. It's horrible to get it in there. So if you ever see this, deal with it immediately. Well, we're not gonna put that back in there. I'm gonna smash it. And we're just gonna spray this on here. And what we'll do is we'll watch this bed, see if that handles the problem, because there's going to be a lot up under these leaves. And since I'm not really worried about these potatoes anyhow, we're just gonna watch it. And at the same time, we come back next time, we see some grasses in this bed, I'll go ahead and nip that out of bud, get that out of there, and not try to sow seeds of grass into my raised beds. So you see down here, there's a little fence right here. And it's going around the front and the side of the greenhouse. Here is a deer netting here. On the back side is a deer netting. And the reason of doing this, one thing is let me leave the greenhouse doors open at nighttime, which is really not a good idea because some insects fly and eat at nighttime and you can get them into your greenhouse. So usually every night I will close the greenhouse doors. But since our season is kind of winding down and it kind of gets warm into the daytime, and now I'm not using the fans like I was, I'm trying to just like be sure to try to keep a good airflow in there, and there's not many plants in there, so I'm not worried about it. But this fence right here, this little electric fence right here, I had to put it up, and actually I'm kind of glad I did, because you see the wire that's into the chicken wire that's into the raised beds, and I got one I was supposed to cut and I hadn't got to it. And that's great if you can put it down, but the thing of it is that you've got to store this stuff for the next season or throw it away. And I'm not much in throwing things away when I'm going to need it the next season. So the cat knows not to come in here, but he comes in here, and really with this right here, he looked at the wire and he's like, oh, because he knows what that one's about. He learned that, and you know, I hate that, but I don't want the cat peeing and pooping into my raised beds, using it as a cat litter box. That's not good. The thing of it is that he would go into the greenhouse, he would sneak behind my back, and he would do that. And I said, you know, it'll start to get on my nerves, right? So we are to keep peace. Try to keep as much peace into our heart, our spirit, as much as possible. And there's something we can deal with that's taking our peace, then we need to deal with it. And so that's why I put this up. I already had this wire, I had these little poles, had them for a while. Took really no time to put it up. I got a solar charger onto it, and then we got it there, and probably after a while, literally, I could just put the solar charger up and I won't even have to worry about this. But this is also kind of good for raccoons and possums, because I can come out here and see raccoon and possums footprints, tracks that are around the greenhouse, but the doors would be shut, and that's not one you want to get into the greenhouse either, or those that you want to get in the greenhouse either. So that, this is a good measurement. I can step over it, you know, and I think it's going to be two-purpose, especially when I'm dealing with raccoons and possums around here. And this will also help with, you see, once predators, they're always going to come, but once the predators realize that the fences are up, then they're less susceptible to being around your property. So even though our season has ended, we are still preparing for the next season. Now we're heading into the fall. This year we will not be doing a fall garden. There's too many other things to be taken care of, and I do believe you have to make a decision. You know, do I just want to garden all the time, or do I want to do other projects? And for me, I have decided, you know, I want to do other projects, but at the same time, I want to go ahead and get things cleaned up and prepare for the next season. Because as gardeners, we say, oh, we're not going to do this, and we find ourselves doing it. So another way to keep cats out of your raised bed area or pots like these, use pine cones. If you got lots of pine cones into your area, that would be a great way to get them off the ground, get them out of the way, and be beneficial not only to your plants, because it's going to help keep the soil moist. It'll keep the sun off of the roots somewhat. But putting pine cones in there, who wants to walk on pine cones with their tender feet? So we've got the soil out of these containers and into the raised bed. This will continue to break down throughout the winter, fall, winter, to the spring, but it's also continued to settle down. This will get these containers out of the way, so just sitting around, and all the nutrients that's in here, since it's a smaller container, leach out from the bottom. We're going to take this soil here, or took this soil here, that's got the nutrients, it's got fertilizer, it's got garden lime, it's got other types of nutrients in here, and now we have put it in here, so when it rains, then those nutrients continue on into the raised bed to the other part of the soil. So clean up the garden area, clean up after the summer has ended. It takes time, and I like to work at it little bit by little bit. And so we have been working at this little bit by little bit. Besides the end of the season coming, and maybe you got an event going on, and you look at everything you got to do, it can be frustrating, it can be stressful. But if you work at it little bit by little bit, you will find that no matter what the task is, you would have it completed. Why work a whole entire day when you can do it little bit by little bit? Now, I like to put my stuff up. Yes, it would be a lot easier just leaving it out, leaving the soil into these containers, just leaving it out until next year. That would be a lot easier. But while it's sitting there, it's slowly deteriorating. The soil is going down. The nutrients are going out. And so I like, no matter what it is, little bit by little bit, put it up, so you know, no matter what I got put out, then I know that it's going to last me in the long run. So this is 2 water hoses here. We've got another one there. And surely as I'm standing here, it's got water in it, even though it's been sitting a while. But we want to go ahead and get them put up, drained out, so when winter comes, we don't have to worry about the water hoses freezing. So we finally got all the potatoes done. We got the regular potatoes, these are Yukon Gold, and some red potatoes. Then over here is all potatoes. Check this out. This is an old box. This is how your canning jars used to come into a box, where you could store them in a box, put the lid over them, keep them dark. Usually have something over the top of it. Inserts. And that's how you used to get your jars. Now they got it so cheap. I will say cheap. Come like that. Now when I started canning, or started canning, the boxes were a little bit taller, and then it had the inserts in the middle, like this. So we got all the potatoes done. And this is my canning room and everything else room. And so these are just some of the sweet potatoes. I've got to figure out where to put them at. We got all the sweet potatoes done. Super happy about that. Now we start working on the garlic. Last night, divided the bulbs up. This is a lot of garlic. This started out 5 years ago. 5 years ago, I believe it was, that I bought some bulbs from the grocery store, divided the little bulbs up to cones, and planted them. And for 5 years now, I'm still reaping from that garlic. So these right here, I end up chopping up. I have a little chopper right here. Just got it from Walmart. Well worth the money. Take the little skins off of it. And then I put it in here. Shut it. And it cubes it. This right here is going to be my garlic that I plan on planting again. This round garlic right here is the elephant garlic. Now these are babies. These are babies, and you see the green on there. So, not that one. Let's see, where is it at? This one. They're starting to show some greenery that lets me know, here it goes. See that right there? Lets me know that I can go ahead and start putting these in the ground. When I see that, that's letting me know the bulb is they're starting to get ready to put into the ground, into this raised bed for fall. So this is a lot of garlic here for you know, start my next year's harvest. It takes a long time to grow garlic. Super easy. That's why I keep on growing it. And then once I chop these up right here, then I just put it into a freezer bag. And then I take and I freeze dry it. Because this is a lot of garlic. Or you can just leave it into the freezer and then take out what you want. I just like put it in a big old bag. It's just, I think I got like 2 gallons last year. I think it's like that, or something like that. But anyways, at least we'll probably definitely get 1 gallon this year. And that's more than enough garlic for here.